It's 9 o'clock on this Thursday night. That means it's time for our continuing coverage of President Trump's D.C. takeover. Thank you so much for joining us. We are live on Fox Local and streaming on YouTube right now. I'm producer Chris. Each night I am bringing you a recap of what has happened over the past 24 hours. I'm also trying to highlight some of our coverage here on Fox 5, some of the community leaders that we have talked to, some of the politicians that we have heard from, some of the city leaders that we have heard from, and more. Some of the major developments we've had today. Let me take you out live right now. That's Northwest DC. That was the Defend the District protest that happened at 14th and U Streets earlier tonight. You see some of the protesters still hanging out there, including one with a colorful flag, let's just say that. We are now 10 days into the president's emergency order to make D.C. safe again. And besides that protest, we did have some major developments today. And the biggest one was President Trump literally hitting the streets. Let me take you to some video of that from earlier today. So this all started earlier today during a Newsmax interview when the president said he would be heading out on patrol.
We don't want that to
in
happen.
the streets of D.C.
Where are we
that
going, Margo?
didn't
Over
exactly end up being the case.
Hello, everybody. It's great to be with you. You guys are doing a
less of a
fantastic
patrol,
job.
more of a
gals
meeting or a
doing
visit
an amazing job,
with
and we
law
appreciate
enforcement
it.
officers. That patrol began around 5 p.m. with a motorcade.
Well, I
from
just
the
want to
White
thank
House.
everybody
This comes
very much
courtesy
for
of the pool
being here. I
report. The
wanted to
president
do
was
this.
joined
We've
by
had
his chief of
these
staff,
are the
Susan
leaders of
Wiles,
other
along
countries,
with
the
his
prime
deputy
ministers
chief of
and the
staff,
presidents.
Stephen Miller,
All every one of them
and Attorney
said
General
essentially
Pam
the same
Bondi.
thing. Said we had a
So
dead
per the
country.
White
We
House
were. We
pool
felt
report,
that
the
way.
president's motorcade
And we were.
made its first stop
And
at
this
the
place
United
was
States
emblematic
Park
of it
Police
with the crime,
Operations
the horrible
Facility
crime.
in
And you know,
Anacostia
I
around
watch these
5:20
phony
p.m.
reports.
They
Oh,
made
we
the
were
trip
on the
from
way
White
back.
House,
They weren't on the way
traveling
back.
down
It was worse than
395
ever.
to 695.
Just a short
made their
while
way
ago,
through
but
Navy
now it's going to
Yard.
be. I think now,
pool
right
report says
now,
the
it's better
motorcade
than it
passed
has
by
been in
Nats
years.
Park while a game
And in a
was
couple of weeks,
underway.
it's going to be even far better
They were
than that.
noting
And
that the
everybody's safe now.
Nats were
Everybody feels
losing
safe.
to the Mets in
And
that
they're
pool
all coming
report.
in, and people are now
They
coming
also
in and
eventually
making
crossed the
reservations
Frederick
to come in.
Douglass
They wanna be in
Memorial Bridge. Now,
Washington,
waiting for the
D.C.
president
Washington
were
had,
around 300 men and women
results.
from the Park
Results
Police,
have come out.
the D.C. Police, the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, the National Guard, Homeland Security, and the U.S. Marshals Service. That's some of the video you're looking at right now. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem and the Interior Secretary Doug Burgum were also on hand at that Park Police headquarters. The president and other Trump administration officials also spoke to the group, and that's what I want to let you listen to now. It runs a little long. Take a listen.
Like somebody else, like a different city. It's the capital. It's going to be the best in the world. We're going to do what you're doing with law enforcement, and very importantly, also, we're going to physically do it. We're going back to Congress for some money, and we're going to redo a lot of the pavement, a lot of the medians, a lot of the graffiti's all coming off real fast. It's going to come down real fast. We're working with Clark Construction. They're one of the big ones. They're the biggest here by far, actually. And we're going to be not so much building, it's cleaning and fixing and redoing and putting brand new surfaces down on your roads and streets. And when people come in from the airport all the way to the Capitol or the White House or any place else they go, and they're going to say, boy, this place is spotless. So we're doing that. Most importantly, though, we're going to have a crowd of people that are going to be happy. You know, I've received more phone calls from people in the last 4 days than I ever have. I've been here now 4 years plus. And by the way, I think we had about the best 7 months, they're saying, that any president's had. We've done a lot of work. We've done a lot of good work, including the biggest tax cuts that you've ever had. I know you guys don't care about taxes, so you don't care about saving a little tax, but you saved a lot of tax, actually. But we've had a great period of time. But I've never received so many phone calls thanking me for what we've done in Washington, D.C., from people that haven't gone to a restaurant literally in 4 years. And they said, you know, what you've done it's unprecedented, because what they said, it was just unsafe. We couldn't do it. We'd go out and you'd see the stories, you'd read the stories, you'd see all of the things that are happening. And they said, we couldn't stand it, sir. And now I take my wife and my kids to dinner. One of them said he's gone out 4 nights in a row, and he hadn't gone out for 4 years. So it's a great tribute to you. And when I look at you people, I understand why, because there's no games, right? We're not playing games. We're going to make it safe. And we're going to then go on to other places. But we're going to stay here for a while. We want to make this absolutely perfect. It's our capital. And I guess it used to be many years ago safe, but it's certainly not had a very good run. And you got to be strong. You got to be tough. You got to do your job. Whatever it takes to do your job, you got to do your job. But the crime numbers are way down. I'm looking at, you saw some of the stats. They just read them out to me inside. The numbers that we haven't seen here ever, actually ever. And I think it's probably, right now, it's, to me, I feel very safe now, and I'm hearing people are very safe, but I know within 2 weeks it's going to be, Pam, it's going to be at a level that's even far superior. So I just wanted to thank you all. You're doing incredible. You're incredible people. You make the country run, frankly. You make the whole place run. We're going to have the best Capitol ever. We're going to have it's going to look better than it ever did. Even at the White House, I'm building a ballroom. They've been after a ballroom for 150 years, but they never had a real estate guy as a president. You know, I've done a lot of ballrooms, and we're going to make this one the best of them all. But we're doing a real job. As far as the country's concerned, we're respected again. We had a country that was laughed at a year ago. They thought they couldn't understand what was happening, and it's about leadership. But we had a country that was a dead country in many ways. I went to Saudi Arabia. I went to Qatar. I went to UAE. We came back with $5.1 trillion of investment in this country, and we're over $17 trillion. Now, a lot of you don't know what that means, and nobody knows what it means because it's never happened before. In 5 months, because really it's a 5-month, even though we're here 7, but we started 5 months ago in terms of investment, and we have, because they see what's happened to our country, we're going to be over 17 trillion with a T, dollars of investment. There's never been anything close. If we did 1 trillion in a year, and we're talking about over a 5-month period, maybe 6 months if you look at it, but over $17 trillion. We're building plants, auto plants, AI plants, all sorts of plants all over the country. I'm giving them the right. Lee Zeldin's done a fantastic job. We give him the right to build electric plants. They become almost like a public utility because we have old grids. We have a lot of stuff that's old. We wouldn't be able to compete with China AI. And now we're totally leading the AI race and the artificial intelligence. It's a big deal. And it's the hottest thing there is for probably in 35, 40 years. It's a lot of people don't know what it is. Just trust me, it's very hot. It's big. But they need massive amounts of electricity. They need more electricity than we have right now in the whole country servicing everything. In other words, we have to at least double it up to be competitive and to be leading. And we're more than doubling it up. And what I'm doing is I'm letting all of these very rich companies, and they've got nothing but they got a lot of money, and they want to invest it in the United States, and they're building big plants, but they're building electric plants with it. I said, you build your building, and these are buildings that cost $30, $40, $50 billion when you include everything that's inside, all the technology. I said, I'm going to let you build electric plants to fire your own electricity, and anything that you have left over, you sell it back into the grid. So all of these big factories that are being built are building their own electric plants fired by oil and gas. They're not fired by wind, by the way, because wind doesn't work, but we won't say that. It destroys everything. It looks terrible. It's a very expensive form of energy. And we're not doing wind. We're going back to fossil fuel. I hope not too many of you people are going to be upset, but we have to go back to what works. We can't be foolish. But we're building massive electric plants all over the country. The companies are building, and then they sell it back into the grid. But we're building numbers that nobody's ever seen. We're auto plants. We have many auto plants going up, whereas during the last 4 years, as you know, we had like none. People weren't investing here. So where they weren't investing and they were leaving, but I just finished by saying this. So I was with the King of Saudi Arabia. I was with all of the NATO leaders a couple of weeks ago, and they are putting up not 2%, but 5%. They said 5% of GDP, that's a lot of money. They'll have trillions of dollars put up. They were putting up 2, but they weren't paying it. Now they're putting up 5, and they're all paying it. And they all said the same thing. They said, 1 year ago, Your country was dead. We never thought it was coming back. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. These are the leaders of other countries, the prime ministers and the presidents, every one of them said essentially the same thing, said we had a dead country, and we were. We felt that way, and we were. And this place was emblematic of it with the crime, the horrible crime. And, you know, I watch these phony reports, we were on the way back. They weren't on the way back. It was worse than ever just a short while ago, but now it's going to be, I think now, right now, it's better than it has been in years. And in a couple of weeks, it's going to be even far better than that. And everybody's safe now. Everybody feels safe. And they're all coming in. And people are now coming in. They're making reservations to come in, and they want to be in Washington, D.C. One of the things we're going to be redoing is your parks. I'm very good at grass because I have a lot of golf courses all over the place. I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world. And we're going to be regrassing all of your parks, all brand new sprinkler systems, the best that you can buy, just like Augusta. It'll look like Augusta. It'll look like, more importantly, Trump National Golf Club. That's even better. But we're going to have all brand new, beautiful grass. You know, like everything else, grass has a life. Do you know that? Grass has a life. You know, we have a life and grass has a life. And the grass here died about 40 years ago. So we're going to be rebuilding all of your parks, and it's going to happen fast. It's going to go up like a miracle. So you do the job on safety, and I'll get this place fixed up physically, and we're going to be so proud of it at the end of 6 months. But let's say at the end of a year, this place will be maxed out in terms of beauty. You'll have all new surfaces. You'll have all new medians. Everything's going to look beautiful. A lot of your signs are going to be taken down. They've been up for 40 years. They look like hell. They're barely standing up. They're falling off their holders. And we're going to have all new everything. And I want to just thank Doug for doing such an incredible job. You've been unbelievable. You're a popular guy. No, he's an amazing guy. He's an amazing guy. Everybody loves him. We love you. And his wife is so incredible. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Pam, thank you very much. What a job. People don't realize, they're going to see she'll go down as the greatest Attorney General we've had. I really mean it, too. And where's my Christy? You're there. Thank you very much. She's been incredible. And she can ride a horse like nobody. Horses, she whips those horses around. But I want to thank you very much. And Steve Miller, so fantastic. And Todd Blanche, who's been with me so long, and he's one of the best lawyers you'll ever find. And we're having a lot of victories. I had a victory today. You know, they stole $550 million from me with a fake case, and it was overturned. They said this was a fake case. It's a terrible thing, but that's a nice victory, you know. I mean, it's not bad. You know, we all have our limits, but this was a terrible thing that done. It was a witch hunt, and I've had more witch hunts than any human being, I think, in history. And here we are, we're the president of the United States, so it didn't work out too well for them, but maybe now it's turned a little bit. These are very dishonest people. We have to fight. We have to win because we have to win. And you people are winners, and I just think it's such an honor to be with you. And we're going to make Washington, D.C. great again. We're making our country great again. The country is very close to being great. When they say it's the hottest country in the world, they mean it. And this Capitol is right now, after 4 days, 5 days, it's at a level that you haven't seen in a long time, and it's all because of you. So I want to thank you all very much. It's an honor to be with you, and we'll always be with you. We're going to be with you for as long as I'm around. You're going to be treated as nobody more important, and thank you all very much for being here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Doug, would you like to say something? Thank you, everybody.
President Trump, on behalf of everybody that's here in law enforcement, I think I absolutely want to extend gratitude to you, because under your leadership, you're bringing back respect for this profession. I know that wherever you go, and some of these folks know, wherever you go in the country, whenever I've been with you, backstage before you speak, who do you get a picture with? Local law enforcement, the federal folks that are there. You have always, in turn, your entire life, supported law enforcement, and that makes a difference. These people know that. And the other thing, of course, for everybody here, President Trump's ended 6 wars. He's brought taxes down, regulations down. He's brought record foreign investment like he was talking about. He's done all of those things in 6 months. But what does he really care about? You hear him talk about the wars. He wants to end the killing. And here in D.C., he wants to end the killing. He wants to end it in every city in America, because if we're the greatest country in the world, you shouldn't be afraid to be able to go out for dinner. He cares about the people that live in this city and in every city, and that's why this is happening right now, and this is what leadership looks like, that in a matter of a week, this is a message to every city in the country, and it's a message to every capital in the world that America, the greatest country in the world, is going to have the most beautiful capital and the safest capital in the world because of all of you. So thank you, everybody that's here tonight. Thank you, President Trump, for making it all possible.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Pam?
Thank you all. President, I'm looking at all these faces. They're out here every single night. I'm getting to know everyone on a first-name basis. All of our great Metro PD, General Blanchard with the Guard, all of our federal agencies are out here, our amazing park police. They are working hand in hand to make D.C. safe. They're out here working midnights every night because they love our country, they love our city, and they love you. They're all telling me that. Are we going to get to meet look at them getting a thumbs up. They're all out here going, are we going to meet the president? I told you. So, and I think you brought some food for him, didn't you, President?
So we have great hamburgers cooked by the White House, and we have pizza that I said don't do it in the White House because we went to a place that makes the best pizza. So we'll concede. But we have a lot of it, so we're going to have some fun. We'll eat, and I'll eat with you, and we're going to have a little fun. We're going to celebrate, but then we're going to get back to work, and we're going to take care of these criminals. We're going to put them where they have to be. You're going to say, don't play around with us. Don't play around with us. So let's go have something to eat. You're going to like the hamburgers? Would you rather have hamburgers from the White House or pizzas from a good place, huh? I think you want, they want the hamburgers. Have a good time, everybody. Thank you very much. Christy, thank you very much, darling. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Judge Janine is here. She's unbelievable. We have Leo 2.0. Whoa. Judge, I didn't see you over there. It's lucky I spotted her. It's lucky I spotted her. I would have been in big trouble. And Leo, Leo 2.0, we love Leo. He's a great prosecutor, that's for sure. They both started off really as law enforcement and top lawyers and judges and law enforcement, and that's how they became famous. Then they went into show business, and everyone thought, gee, were they real? But they were the real deal, and you're both doing great. Thank you very much. Pam, do you want to say something? Janine, please?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of you. Every night when you hit the street, you make a difference, not just for us, but for everyone in the district. They are grateful for what you do. They are thankful. And I am making sure that we back the blue to the hilt. Every arrest you make, we're going to the longest way to make sure that we charge in those cases. So God bless you and thank you for what you do. You're making a difference. And Mr. President, without you, no one would even have tried. So thank you.
30 seconds. We have the greatest president in our lifetime protecting this country, and you guys have done a great job. And I've had the privilege to work with the greatest Attorney General in Pam Bondi. This team really appreciate you. We want to thank you. You are doing the work that makes this country great, protecting America. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Be safe.
So that was the president with the park police and other federal agents earlier this evening. He arrived a little after 5 o'clock, met with them. You heard him mention the burgers and the pizza. Per the Pool report, the burgers were made by the White House. The pizza came courtesy of Wise Guys. The motorcade then returned to the White House around 6 p.m. If you are just joining us live, right now, bottom right-hand corner, that is the Defend the District rally that took place earlier this evening, but some protesters still out there on the street holding signs and marching. We're going to hear from some of the organizers of that in just a little bit. But earlier today, the president posted on Truth Social after he did his meeting with law enforcement, writing that it was a great honor to visit some of the federal agents and National Guard troops. who are working to make DC safe again. Now, the president didn't actually patrol the way that we thought he was going to, but one woman that Fox 5 caught up with earlier, before the president made his way to Park Police headquarters, told us that she wished that he had. Take a listen.
We're told that President Trump is expected to patrol the streets of the district tonight with the National Guard and some federal officers. Would you like him to come into your community, Ward 7? And if so, what would you like for him to see?
He need to see what's going on. Him and all the people that's in Congress back there making all the decisions, sitting there. All of them need to come over here and see how Southeast really is. More police enforcement, that's what we need. Because it is high crime, but you have to live here to know, you have to live in the neighborhoods and know exactly how these people are.
So that was Lorraine Howard, who lives in Washington, D.C. Now, I'm going to take you back out full to that Defend the District protest that started earlier this evening, but clearly still going on as you take a live look at 14th and U Streets. That's where our Sydney Persing is tonight. We'll hear from her coming up on Fox 5 News at 10 and 11. Now, we did catch up with some of the organizers, like I mentioned, but at the same time the president was meeting with law enforcement. Those dozens of protesters hit the streets of Northwest for that Defend the District event. That's what you're taking a live look at right now. This is 14th and U. We have some video of it from earlier, but I'm just going to leave the live picture up. However, Fox 5 did speak with Kelsey Adams. She's the founder of Long Live Go-Go and one of the co-founders of Free DC. We talked to her about the event and the message that she wants to share with the community and the country. Take a listen.
Well, this movement, again, is rooted at the intersection of politics and culture. So the culture is the mobilization aspect, but we really have to bring that political aspect in. Talking about DC statehood, talking about what a free DC looks like, and true liberation for our people is how you truly educate and, again, liberate your people. We want to ensure that our people have the resources and the tools for their own success. We're not just driving the movement, but we're empowering others to lead their own movements at any time that they choose.
Awesome. Anything you want to say I haven't asked you?
I just want to say to the country, to everyone in the world, that DC will be free. Please stand with DC. We're demanding DC statehood. Our crime rate is down. So contrary to what you hear on TV, do your research and know that DC voices matter.
Awesome.
So that was one of the organizers of the Defend the District rally that you're taking a live picture at right now. Clearly, protesters still out making their voices heard. We'll hear from more of them coming up on Fox 5 News at 10 and 11. So also new today, though, we did get an update on the attack that is kind of credited with kicking off this entire DC takeover. We're talking about the former Doge employee. The two teens who allegedly beat up that staffer were given a step-down request from a judge today. That means they will no longer be detained and will instead be in home confinement. The 19-year-old victim who was assaulted earlier this month near DuPont Circle in an attempted carjacking, that was that Doge staffer that we talked about. And like we mentioned, that attack was mentioned by the president on Truth Social before this takeover began. Now, meanwhile, the Washington Post reports that U.S. Attorney General U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says she plans to seek maximum charges in all the D.C. arrests so far under this takeover, but the Washington Post says that could end up straining the prosecutor's office because Pirro says it is down 90 lawyers, 60 investigators, and paralegals. I'm going to take you out live to that protest again. You see some people still out there right now. All right, let's get to some of the numbers now, though. And we're starting off with the stat that the president's administration has been bragging about all day. Washington, D.C. has reportedly been murder-free for an entire week, for the last week. The MPD actually confirmed that news to Fox. There has not been a recorded homicide in the city since August 13th. Now, in a post on X earlier today, I'll let you take a look at, that's from Attorney General Pamela Bondi. She says, we've now made a total of 630 arrests and seized 86 illegal guns in DC. 53 arrests were made yesterday, plus 24 ICE arrests and 10 guns taken off the streets. Our incredible U.S. Marshals even helped recover a missing child. Our mission to make DC safe again is not slowing down. FBI Director Kash Patel also posting on X. He gave an update on his agency, writing, quote, the FBI joined federal partners in 31 more arrests last night, 6 illegal firearm recoveries, 7 drug seizures, charges including theft, assault with a deadly weapon, and drug offenses. In total, law enforcement has made 630 arrests since the operation started. This is a team effort across multiple federal partners. They're working around the clock to get it done, and your capital city is safer every day because of it. More to come. Now, the National Guard, let's talk about them. The other new numbers out today came from that agency as we take a live look, bottom right corner, from that Defend the District rally that has been happening all night. So let's get to the National Guard numbers. They reported today that 1,997 members of the National Guard are now stationed across the nation's capital. So that's far higher than the initial 800 to 850 that we talked about. Those guardsmen hail from right here in Washington, D.C., along with West Virginia, South Carolina, Ohio, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Tennessee. So those are all our new numbers that we have so far. Before we found out about the president's event today, which was the big thing that we spent all day waiting for and watching for, and that you just took a listen to, we did hear from DC's Mayor Muriel Bowser. She spoke out about the federal takeover, some of the crime stats that we talked about, like the DC region, DC, the city, being homicide free for a whole week. We're going to hear from her, but first we're going to take a quick break. First, though, I'll take you out live to that Defend the District protest. Take a look. right, welcome back to our continuing coverage of President Trump's D.C. takeover. It's Thursday night. Thank you to everyone who's watching us right now on Fox Local and streaming live on YouTube. Every night I do like to check in on what people are saying on YouTube as they are watching us live. So thank you to everyone who is weighing in at the same time. Endeavor to Persevere says the United States of America is the best it has ever been. Nadia agrees with Endeavor. Universal says pigs fly too. Xavier weighing in, saying they're watching from Chevy Chase Village. Endeavor jumping back in, things getting a little feisty, says, please this way into the wambulance. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in, joining us live. You can always weigh in. I try to read as many comments as I can as we get them. In the meantime, let's talk about DC's Mayor Muriel Bowser now, because earlier today, she took questions during a housing event in D.C. where she talked about some of the latest crime data, what has happened over the past 10 days or so, what might happen after the 30-day takeover ends. She was also asked about federal agents wearing masks in the streets. I want you to take a listen.
Yep. We're 2 weeks into this federal surge. Are you guys tracking the crime and seeing a decrease in crime, especially in areas like Ward 7 and Ward 8 that traditionally have higher crime rates?
We've been experiencing a decrease in crime for the last 2 years. We expect that having 500 additional officers will yield more arrests, and we want guns off the street. Our police officers continue to do the work, and we expect some incremental difference with more officers. Yeah.
Mayor, I have a follow-up for you. Tuesday night, you went over to 7D, and you were there with some federal officials. I've been told by sources that are familiar with the conversation in the room that when it was opened up for questions, that one police officer said, what happens after day 30? And that there was a federal official, and I'm not sure who it was, who said, we're not going anywhere, and we have a 4-year contract. Were you in the room? Did you hear that statement, and what's your reaction to it?
I think it doesn't mean anything. I don't know what that means, so I can't comment on it. These are the facts. That the federal emergency ends in 30 days. It can only be extended by the Congress. And if the commitment from the federal government is to have federal support or officers that assist MPD, that's a different conversation.
Hi, Madam Mayor. Do you believe that the Trump administration's surge of federal law enforcement is more of a pretext to enforce immigration law as opposed to fight violent crime in D.C.?
Well, this is what I know is that our police department has been consistently, precipitously driving down crime for the last 2 years. I think up before the federal surge, more than 25% down. Last year, more than 35% down on, I think, all categories of violent crime. And so we know that that's has been effective work with the police department. We know that the surge of federal officers is allowing for different types of deployment and more frequent types of deployment, like checkpoints. The request from the feds that was represented in the Pam Bondi order almost exclusively focused on immigration enforcement and homeless encampment enforcement. So I'll let you draw your own conclusion.
Ashraf Khalil with the Associated Press. You said earlier this week, you mentioned that you had asked Chief Smith to speak to the administration about the idea of the federal officers masking and saying that you didn't see a need for any law enforcement officer to go about their job with covering their face. Has there been a response? How has that conversation gone, and why is it important?
I don't think we've gotten a formal response. And you mentioned a meeting I had with MPD, and one thing that the MPD officer said was, well, we don't wear masks. No one should be wearing masks. And our officers are identified. They have a badge. They wear body-worn camera, and they are clearly identified to members of the public. Now, I've noticed all the federal officials are wearing their appropriate uniform or vest that identify them and their agency. It appears to be the DHS agencies, not the DOJ agencies, that are wearing masks.
Why is it important that that law enforcement not be going around masked?
Well, I think I would answer it this way. Why do they need masks? They're federal officials. They're paid by taxpayers. They should be doing their jobs in a way that's lawful and constitutional, and that's part of the job. And so I don't know why anybody needs to wear a mask. I mean, I think some people identified in some of these drug type situations that masks could be part of a PPE, if you will. That's not the case in the work that they're doing here.
All right, so that's Mayor Muriel Bowser speaking out about the federal takeover, what happens after the 30 days, some of the crime stats, and then you just heard her talking about the masks. That has been an issue that has come up before, and it's one area that apparently the police chief and the mayor seemingly have a slight disagreement. Police Chief Pamela Smith seemingly defending the officers or the agents' use of them yesterday, but she was speaking from a federal background. Now, earlier this week, we also talked about the impact the president's federal show of force has had on DC's restaurant scene. It's Restaurant Week right now, but some other small business owners say they are also feeling the effects. And earlier today, Fox 5's Marina Morocco got a chance to talk to one of those small business owners on the DMV zone. Take a listen.
Joining us now is small business owner of Dimont Jewelry, Libby Dimont. So good to see you and have you here, local business owner in D.C. What are you guys feeling right now? As I'm sure you talk with your fellow small business owners, how are things business-wise?
Oof, it has been a tough few weeks in D.C. right now. We made it through the pandemic and the tariffs kind of started coming about. And then now we have the presence of the National Guard. And we are just seeing a decrease in sales. People are a little bit freaked out. They're pulling back financially. And I really wanted to come on the show today to remind people that we need your support right now more than ever, and we need you to come in, support local businesses, go to your local coffee shop, go out to dinner. And I know it's a hard time for everybody because things are a little bit tight financially, but small businesses bring the happiness to neighborhoods, and we need you guys.
Absolutely, and we need you all also in our communities. When did you start to see a shift in things on a downward turn business-wise?
Sure. So about a year and a half ago, I would say we kind of started seeing people get nervous financially. And I personally have not made a profit in a year and a half.
Wow.
And we're having days where, we used to sell maybe $1,000 on a weekday, and right now we're at about 200. And a lot of people don't realize, but we actually, after expenses, would be in the negative at that point. So yeah, it's been a really challenging time for us.
I bet, and I know that there was so much that was done in the pandemic days to try and keep some of these stores afloat, restaurants. Are you feeling that there's that support from the local government to help small businesses?
Right. So I think that you really hit the nail on the head. So we are all realizing that bailouts are not coming right now. So I think that's where a lot of kind of panic is coming in for small businesses where, there's no bailouts. So we need to reach out to our customers. I'm so lucky because I have some of the most supportive customers that when I say I need help, they show up, they come in. And after 15 years of doing this, I'm really lucky to have that. But we need politicians right now to help us. We're at almost pandemic level, crisis, and we need politicians to help us. And when they're making these, huge decisions for cities, small businesses need to be considered.
Yeah, are you feeling, have you reached out to the mayor's office, to her small business contingent? Any conversations happening? Are you feeling like your pleas are falling on deaf ears?
Yeah, it does feel like they're falling on deaf ears. It's really hard to actually make those connections. I personally don't have those connections, but every time I make a post, I tag her on social media. If you're listening, Mayor Bowser, we need funding. We need tax relief. Small businesses they make the community a better place, and we need support right now.
Well, let's shout you guys out. Tell people where they can find all of your great products, all the homemade stuff, and where you are in D.C.
Okay, so we are at the Wharf, which we love. The Wharf is such a great place. And you can find us in Shirlington, which is located in Arlington. You can also find us online at diamondjewelry.com. And, this store is just really fun. It's colorful. And everybody that comes in just has such a great time there.
Libby, we appreciate you coming on, and we hope if we do get the chance to interview the mayor, there's so much happening, we'd love to do that, and obviously ask her about if there are, in fact, any efforts to help out small businesses, because I know that you all are not the only ones that are feeling some of the tight crunch right now.
Absolutely. I would love to chat with her any day.
Thank you, Libby. We appreciate you.
So that was earlier today on Fox 5's DMV Zone. We'll have much more on President Trump's D.C. takeover, his trip down to Park Police headquarters that defend the district protest, all coming up tonight on Fox 5 at 10 and 11 over on Fox 5 and here on Fox Local. Josh Rosenthal, Sydney Persing, team coverage on this. We'll also have the latest on Erin and the effects that she's having out in the Atlantic and on some of our local beaches in Maryland and Delaware. Mike Thomas will have all the latest on the forecast as we head into another weekend. We'll be back here again tomorrow night, as always. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us. I'm producer Chris. I'm going to take you now to Live Now in Progress. Thanks for joining us.
License back in July of 2020.